back to all of our Emperor Champagne Club members. In this month's episode, we look at passion and place. Now, we have two very exciting winemakers to bring to you around Australia this month. To all of our lovers, we are introducing the house of Lacourte-Godbillon, fantastic producer that I've had the pleasure of visiting in the last couple of years, under the helm now of Richard and Geraldine. And we're also looking at one of my favorite producers within the Champagne region, really the man of the moment, celebrating his 100-year anniversary, Cédric Moussé of Moussé et Filles. I'm talking about the idea of place. We have this word terroir. It's an interesting French word that has no direct translation. And terroir can mean the environment in terms of climate, precipitation, rainfall, temperature, what's underneath the vineyard. So sub-terroirs, is it chalk, is it marl, is it terre de lead, is it green lime, is it limestone, is it green clay? What is underneath the vineyards of the vine? And also, and we often forget this, terroir being the human hand. And when we talk about the human hand, we're talking about people. We're talking about heritage. We're talking about passing the baton from one generation to the next. And this is very important because it gives us passion. Passion and place together give us something very, very unique. And we have two exceptional examples where both of those things come into play for these houses. I've had my eye on this producer for a couple of years, and they first came under my nose, these wines, about 4 years ago, and I was very, very impressed. There's an energy, there's an electricity to this producer, and Lacourte-Godbillon is the name of the producer, a double-barreled surname coming from the joining of families, which is so often the case when we have growers in Champagne. This aficionation of the house started in 1947, so we're post-war. We've got two families that have come together. Previously, like many growers in the Champagne region, they were selling their fruit to the Grand Marques, to the big houses. But there's no greater pride and there's no greater passion than having your name on the label. But are all keep your eyes on. And we bring two of them this month. Under the current airs, Richard and Geraldine, both of them very passionate, both of them very enthusiastic, both of them so precise in what they do in the vineyard and in the winery. And they're producing wines which speak volumes about their place, which is in the Montagne de Reims and in a little town called Écueil, but also about their passion and precision. So if we talk firstly about the place, we're talking about Mountain of Reims. As we say in our fabulous Australian accents, the Montagne de Reims, it's a little mountain, it's not a great mountain. And really in this area, the grape varietal that is grown so beautifully is Pinot Noir. And again, this is the example for the House of Godbillon. They lead with Pinot Noir. The wine that we're introducing to you this month and what they're producing is Pinot Noir dominant. But let's talk a little about why they're unique. With Richard and Geraldine and a team of three, they have a 8-hectare plot, so quite small. They are extremely hands-on. No fruit is brought in from outside of the Maisons. They are meticulous in their viticulture. They have an average age vine of 30 to 40 years. The way that they prune, the way that they crop, the way that they tend to the vineyards with cover crops is very, very particular. They're dry pruning, so they're taking off some of the bunches to intensify the fruit. They've got cover crops so that they're encouraging some competition within the soil. They are newly certified in biodynamics, so abstaining completely from the use of pesticides and herbicides. When they're moving the wine around the vineyard, they're using only gravity. And they're also cold stabilizing the wines and aging the wines for a period of time, a long period of time, settling the wines within tank and within barrel to extract exactly what they want to extract, a precision out of the wines. So very, very passionate winemaking process, very, very passionate team, but also with extended aging. The minimum aging of the Maison is 30 months leading up to 7 years. So quite an extended period of time. When we talk about place, we're talking about an expression of the region. And this cuvée, the Terre d'Écueil, so the terroir, the place of Écueil, which is the town that they are growing in, we have 85% Pinot Noir, we have 15% Chardonnay, we have 30 months in the cellar, we have a very light 5 grams of dosage. The wine is very generous, it's very supple, there's a richness. When I put my nose in the glass, I instantly knew that what was coming is going to have depth, complexity, and power. Very generous, very ample fruit profile on the palate, but at the same time, soft, silky, and vinous. 70% of the wines hold back on malolactic fermentation. There's beautiful acid profile, but a real generosity and a real suppleness, which is characteristic of the Montagne de Reims and characteristics of the predominance of Pinot Noir. For all of our connoisseurs, you are so lucky this month because you will receive an exclusive from one of my favorite houses, Moussé FE. Now, no one is talking about Champenois at the moment as much as they are talking about Cédric Moussé. I have to say, my last 2 years that I've been lucky enough to go back to Champagne with my Champagne tours and visit Cédric, every time I do this, my mind is blown. I watch him, I listen to him. There's these aha moments that I have. I've been in Champagne now for 18 years and I go every single year. I listen intently to what the winemakers have to say. But with Cédric, it's like the Pied Piper. We walk around the vineyard, we look at his facility. Every time he says something that blows my mind. He's a phenomenal winemaker. He's the most passionate man. And when we're talking about place, when we're talking about passion, we had to include Cédric in this edition. There was no other choice. Just arrived yesterday from France is a brand new cuvée. It's been released for the 100-year anniversary for the Moussé family. Founded in 1923, we celebrate their 100 year this year. They've got brand new labels. They've got this amazing technology built into them with the WID app, which you need to download. I'll give you instructions. Wave your phone over it. It'll bring up a story of the wine. It'll talk about the house. It's the latest technology. For the first time, we now have a wrap that goes over the plaque de Mousselet that's been made out of chalk. Cédric is so passionate about the environment. Everything's about trial. Everything's about experimentation. He's so entirely committed to not only the way that he makes his wine, but the environment. And we have this amazing wrap, which make sure you unwrap your bottle slowly. And on the inside it says, hello, we're going to get to know each other, but I already love you. We love him too. If you want to tame me, I'll tell you a secret. I love a tall wine glass and I feel cramped in a small flute. It's up to you. I'm waiting. It's a very good way of telling you what to drink your champagne in. We want a big, round, robust flute because the wines of Cédric Moussé are alive. They are electric. And the minute that I opened this wine and put it in my glass, it was bounding out, trying to tell me a story, trying to translate the passion of Cédric through the vine, through the wine, into the glass and to you. Phenomenal electricity, phenomenal volume that's turned right up. Think about your glass as your speaker. If you're not utilizing the right glass for drinking your champagne, it's akin to going to the opera with your earplugs in. You want the wine to speak to you, we need a big glass. This is a brand new release from the house. No one else is getting it. It's called L'Esquisse. I hope that I've done that justice. L'Esquisse it's like a sketch. You know, when an architect sketches out the house for the first time or a famous painter sketches out the bones of what he wants to paint. It's the first release. It's the new release from the Maisons. 2 years of aging, very vibrant. It really is a representation of the house. It is a Blanc de Noir. It's 85% Pinot Meunier and the balance being Pinot Noir. And what we need to look at here is how Pinot Meunier is being put on the pedestal. For so many producers, it's the understudy, if we want to continue talking about art. It's not the leading role, but in this Maison, Cédric Moussé has the deft hand. He has the absolute magic touch when it comes to elaborating Pinot Meunier into a wine. He's so precise. He is in a beautiful little town called Cuy. Cuy is in the Valley de la Marne, whereas our friends from Lacourte-Godbillon are specialists in Pinot Noir coming from the Montagne de Reims. We've got Pinot Meunier coming from Cuy. We now have a different soil composition. We have green clay, terre de lite. And Cedric is so incredibly passionate about this green clay. He's a master of Meunier. There's no other way of saying it. He will drill down, extract the clay, and if it's the right amount of clay and depth, then he'll plant the vine. And that's where it does best. He goes into the vines every day, extracts the soil and checks them for their composition, their vitamin content, and then provides some homeopathic treatments to his vines. He's the only vineyard I've seen with little pigs running around and little chickens running around, and this whole ecosystem of organics and biodynamics working completely on the lunar cycles according to Rudolf Steiner and beyond. Every time I go to the vineyard, he blows my mind, from breaking water, from osmosis. And last time I was there with our insiders tour in July, I just saw him put his hand on the tank and stop for a moment and shut his eyes. And I said, Cedric, what are you doing? He said, I'm feeling the vibration of the wine. It vibrates. It's got to vibrate higher than us. Blew my mind. And I can see that translation of energy in the glass. And in fact, now Cedric has just bought a church and he's going to age his champagnes under the church because he thinks the church has a higher vibration. He's such a passionate winemaker and you can see it in every glass. The first time for me having this wine, Cedric for me has this hallmark floral characteristic, which is like violet. But he also has this incredible, quite defined, quite precise blueberry character. It's like this blueberry bubblegum. It's so pronounced, it almost feels like it's been manufactured. It's phenomenal. A basket of red fruits, this floral aspect, a slightly herbal edge, electric on the palate. The wines are alive. That's probably also due to a very, very low sulfur content in the wines. Low sulfur means the wines are unbridled, they are electric, they're alive. I have to say, this winemaker, Cedric Moussé, this house, so much passion, so much precision, so much energy. I get really excited every year going to see him because I know there's going to be something new. Check out the app, check out the label, look at this new bottle. Have a look at the whole range of wines that have just arrived from France. It's all new labels to celebrate their 100-year anniversary. I can tell you that his great-grandfather that started the house, Eugene, would be so incredibly proud. So this month we look at two things. We look at place and we look at passion. When we're talking about place, we're talking about terroir. We are looking at two different wines from two different regions, from two different parts of Champagne. We're looking at Lacourte-Godbillon, who is in the Montagne de Reims, specializing in Pinot Noir, and the town is Écouen. We are looking at Pinot Meunier, which is really wonderful in the village of Cuy, which is in the Valley de la Marne. Two sensational winemakers. Now we can grow grapes in both of these places, but if we don't have the human hand that has as much passion, as much precision, and as much know-how that's been passed from generation, then we will never get the quality of wine that we have in both of these two cuvées this month. We have Geraldine and Richard and their very small team of three who are really refining and elaborating the terroir of Écouen in Lacourte-Godbillon, and we have Cedric Moussé, who is the master of Meunier, showing everybody else how it's done. Two very exciting producers, two very exciting people that are experimenting not only with what's been done in the past, but what's going to happen in the future. And you are so lucky to have both of these cuvées for this month. I hope you enjoy it. Please let us know. And don't forget that we are now taking enrollments for the 2024 Champagne Tours, and club members get first offer and you get a discount. I'll be in touch very soon to talk about that. We'll be visiting both of these houses in person next year. See you on the next episode. The village of Écouen by Fuck. Am I boring you? If I'm boring you, everyone at home's fucked. I think I need a drink. It's a problem. All right, let's go. Come on, Kyla. I've got shit to do.
Oh my God.
I'm going to go back to work. I'll call myself in. And action.